me now the #1 sprint car driver in the world from Fargo, North Dakota, Donny Schatz. Donny, last night was a bit tough, but you made it look easy.
It's never easy. It might have looked that way. It's always difficult when the racetrack gets a little like that. It got abrasive and it kind of laid rubber. It was real hard to pass. Everybody was kind of the same speed, and we just look for a better result tonight, hopefully.
Wednesday night, I got to say, the track was totally different, and the outside pass on Brook, everybody's still talking about that.
Well, it's something I had to do. I mean, I'm not typically the kind of guy that sits back and waits for things to happen. You have to wait till it's time and then make something happen. And we just had a good enough car to get up off the bottom. I mean, it was a real tricky racetrack, and it just kind of had to have a bonsai move. Brooke got slowed down in lap traffic and just went for it, and I guess it worked. There's times when it doesn't work like that, but on Wednesday it worked.
Of course, this year you won the Knoxville Nationals and the World of Outlaws again, but this time in the team for Tony Stewart. How has it been this year driving for Tony Stewart?
It's a bit different. When you're used to having your own team, calling all the shots, being the boss, signing paychecks, telling everybody what to do, and you're not doing that anymore, it's a bit different. It's not a bad thing, but it's not always, when you have a problem and you know how to rectify it, and it's someone else makes a decision and you may not agree with it, it's always a little bit odd to kind of maybe weigh out your options and see what the outcome actually is, if it's better or worse. But, them guys have done a great job. They've definitely built me a great race team. They've got great support with the people from Armor All and Chevrolet and Parker, and that's what we thrive on. It's something that we're working on, and right now at this point for 09, we're in a lot better position than we were last year. So I'm hoping that the things that we learned last year kind of set us back a little bit, working with some different people inside the organization, and we got to work with the Chevrolet people a lot, and that was really huge. And I think that's something that'll probably pay off a lot this year. So we're looking forward to it, and hopefully, it's something that we can just build on it every year and just build it up to where I felt like I had my own situation when I had my own team.
When Donny Schatz was growing up and looking to go into Speedway and that, who did you look up to? Who were your heroes?
Well, if you're in sprint car racing, I mean, you're a fool if you don't look up to people like Steve Kinzer and Mark Kinzer and Sammy Swindell and, Lasowski's and all them sort of people. I mean, Doug Wolfgang was a hero of mine when I was a childhood, fan sitting in the stands, and didn't really get to race against him a whole lot because he got hurt. But, all them sort of people were what you looked at as your icons, and, now a lot of them guys are some of my good friends. So that's the way it goes, and you just enjoy that. And sometimes there's people who look up to you that way. I guess it's a big roller coaster, but what goes up must come down, and hopefully it doesn't come down inflating too fast.
As you said, you look up to those people. When you were learning your trade, did you model yourself on anybody?
I don't know that you can ever do that in this sport. I mean, it's something you can't say one driver is identical to another driver. There's a lot of guys that are wild that you can kind of name, similar to each other. But, when you think of someone like Steve Kinzer, I mean, he's done things the way he wanted, and I try to just do things the way I want. And that's, you just have to not really model yourself. You just have to learn from your mistakes and not think around with anything else. So we're just glad to be a part of that, and hopefully in the future it's something that can continue to grow on.
Of course, we know Steve Kinzer is the king because of the World of Outlaws championships that he's won and everything else. But as time goes on, you're getting into that mould that Steve Kinzer has made. How do you feel being tagged like the prince in waiting when Steve retires?
I don't know. There's, you just, like I said, it's no two people can be the same. And, he's obviously the king, and there's never going to be another one like him. And, I'm just, a grateful person to be able to have done the things I've done in the sport, and hopefully can continue to do more. Very appreciative for the opportunities I've had, and hopefully for the ones more yet to come. So you just have to, overlook things like that. You don't get caught up in them. Them are the sort of things that can slow you down. I'm still the same guy that I was 10 years ago. I'm just 10 years older, and that's the way I look at it. So I might know a little bit more today about my race car. I might know a little bit more about driving, but for the most part, I'm that same person I was when I started racing, and hopefully I can continue to stay that way for another 10 years.
Well, Donny, I've got to say that people are still talking about the race last year and the way you went on to win it. People are still talking about Wednesday night, and I'm sure that you're going to turn a great show on tonight. Donny, best of luck.
Hope so. Hopefully we can win, but if not, just hope the fans get a great show. And I'm actually really looking forward to going home. I've had a great trip, and just miss my family, and it's something that gets harder and harder when you come over here. Seems like you're only 9,000 miles away, but every time you come, it feels like it's another 9 added to it. So, looking forward to going home and being with them for a little bit.
Actually, when you go home, are you going back to run the Chili Bowl?
I am going to the Chili Bowl as of right now. I'm probably not going to race it, but I am going to go home for a few days, probably a day or two, and then head to the Chili Bowl. I have to have meetings with sponsors and stuff there too, so that's the one race of the year they get to with Tony. So just looking forward to that. If we race, we race. If not, I'm not going to really be disappointed. It's kind of like showing up at the Knoxville Nationals, never racing a sprint car. It's something that's probably wrong. So we'll go enjoy it and have a good time and support our TSR teammates.
Well, Donny, once again, best of luck tonight and best of luck with the '09 season, the World of Outlaws.